Chase is the villain. No one really likes him. Everyone likes to hate on him. And yet, despite that, all the positive comments in your favor has been crazy. Like, of course, I expected it, but like I expected a little bit more hate, not gonna lie.
Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the #1 podcast in the world. I'm your host, Chase Demoor.
And Gabrielle Moses.
And today we are back with our good buddy, Daniel Perfetto. Welcome back.
How you guys doing?
Good. So, it's been a while.
It's been a hot minute.
Not
even just a while. It's been like, we had a 2-week, almost 3-week actually break from posting some podcasts because a lot has been going on, Chase. So much.
Yeah, so much has been going on. Obviously from the viewer perspective, you guys don't really see a lot because we dish these out as much as we can. A lot of work goes in these. So please, if you guys have a moment, please subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff. But with that being said, we're going to go right into it. Well, shit, all the good stuff. I did not think that we would be sitting here in the predicament that we are in.
We all thought very different things were going to happen, but we're going to talk about it all today.
Yeah, anyways, basically, as you guys know, most recently we had the Misfits Prime card, the biggest boxing event ever. We did a lot of traveling, before and after that, a lot of preparation, getting ready for that fight. It was a 12-week camp. Flew all the way to Manchester, United Kingdom, to fight in front of 20,000 people, and I think they sold 5 million pay-per-views, and however many people bootlegged it. So there's probably close to 6-7 million people that basically watched us go to war, the entire team.
It was crazy too, like being in the arena, just hearing everyone cheering and everyone booing too. Like, I did not expect it to be like that packed. Like, I've been at things before, but this was a whole nother level.
Yeah, and here's the thing about this, and we're just going to dive right into this. A lot of you guys have probably seen the fight. A lot of you guys have probably seen the controversy online. I'm sitting here with, two of my corner people currently. Here's the thing. At the end of the day, influencer boxing is huge. It's saved the sport of boxing. It saved the dying sport. And me, notorious villain, as a lot of you guys know, I took a controversial loss. Whether I'm being biased or not, it's not even just on me thing. Normally when I'm walking out, and I'm sure these two can attest to it, I'm the guy getting booed. I'm the bad guy. I'm the villain. And
99% of the time you're the bad guy.
I am. And
99% of the time someone has something bad to say about you, no matter where we are. But
yeah,
it's different right now.
And it's 100% okay, because that's the role that we have to play. And we're okay with it. We know, who we are at the end of the day. And, the kid we were fighting is a hometown hero. Shout out to him. He lost a bunch of weight and got a platform from doing that. And, no hate to him, no disrespect. But, if it comes to the end of the fight and we have a controversial decision of almost a guaranteed 3-1 round victory, and, they raise his hand and he's even shook, and then the arena starts booing him, the hometown hero. I think that says enough about, what took place.
Well, it was the fact that the guy in the ring with you started raising your hand first.
The referee?
The ref. Yeah.
The guy in the ring.
I couldn't think of the word for a second. Yeah.
So we all thought that. We were freaking out.
Me and Daniel were sitting next to each other, and I was screaming, he was screaming, and then we were like silent.
It's obviously hard not to be biased, like in your corner, but Gabby can attest to this. There wasn't one moment throughout that fight where we thought for a second that you weren't winning or you were gonna win. So,
I thought I was gonna lose my voice.
I felt it was terrible.
Yeah, and and a lot of people have asked, like, "Well, Chase, like, what are you going to do now? Are you going to retire from boxing?" This is one of those moments where, in life, you get kicked down. You can stay down. But, like, here's the thing. Like, when they ask me, like, are you going to be done with boxing? Is this it for you? You just took a very, very tough loss, whether it was rightful or wrong. I look at them and I say, hell nah. I'm still the king of this. I'm still the champ. I'm still the greatest that ever has been, the greatest ever will be. Like, I said it before. If I was on the other end of that stick and I was the one that got my hand raised, but I had to take a complete ass whooping like that to get it, then I don't know if I'd want the belt. And I would hope that you guys, as my friends, would tell me,
We would have to tell you.
Like,
Be like, Chase, it wasn't pretty.
it wasn't pretty. We got away with one.
Yeah.
We got away with one.
Exactly.
And here's the thing about it. We got our next fight. We woke up. The sun was up. We're unscathed. We're still here, cocky as ever. We still never been dropped.
Again, cocky as ever.
And
Ego is still intact.
And as far as we're concerned, we beat up the heavyweight champ of the world and
blood everywhere.
broke his nose.
The blood, when I say it was everywhere, Chase was covered in blood after
Yeah,
this fight.
your white gloves were painted tint.
And his shoes.
Oh my
and
God.
the shorts.
And the craziest thing is like this kid, like I can make a million excuses. Like, you know, it's not about excuses, but like this kid from start to finish was like, oh, my nose always bleeds, and oh, I couldn't wear my knee brace, and oh, I didn't know it was
he had a knee brace on.
I didn't know it was a 5-round fight.
Apparently, they made him take it off.
Oh yeah. There's always something. Oh, he didn't know it was a 5-round fight, so we have to reduce the number of rounds and the number of minutes. And like, here's the thing: at the end of the day, is we had a 12-week camp. We trained to fight this kid. We did exactly. We executed the game plan. We beat the heck out of this kid, and then we get robbed of the decision. So that sends us into what was the next step. And the next step was, go ahead, what do you need to tell me, guys?
I was going to say, but for everyone who is listening that did not watch the fight, do you want to say the exact results of the fight?
Everybody's seen the fight.
Well, I mean, I'm saying if someone didn't watch it, it was a split decision.
We had a split decision loss, 3-1. They're saying he won 3-1, 3 rounds to 1 against me, which is almost obscene because we knocked his mouthpiece out. We had him on the ropes
Twice.
Every round almost. The stats.
I've rewatched it so many
You know, I have the stats on my phone. I don't have my phone with me right now, but basically the stats are almost, 60-20%, 60-30%. So like, I think the one round that they said that he might have won was the one that we actually took a draw on, and the only reason
Which was the game plan.
Which was the game plan, and the only reason they say like he might have won that one. Oh, you should have stats
I
right here.
actually have the stats.
Pull him up.
We're pulling them up.
We're gonna pull the stats up right here. The only reason they're saying that he won that round is because we dominated so many other rounds, it didn't make sense. So round 1, we had 38 total punches thrown, 10 jabs, 28 powers. We had 12 punches landed with a punch accuracy of 31%. That was Tempo Arts, by the way. That we put him. He was the first one on the thing because he won the bout. These are official stats from the PBA. My official stats for the first round: I threw a total of 57 punches to his 38. I threw 20 jabs to his 10, 37 power shots to his 28, and I had 24 of the shots land to his 12, almost double. That's a 42% punch accuracy compared to his 31. The second round, he threw 32 total punches, 13 jabs, 19 power shots, 10 of which landed with a punch accuracy of 31%. Me, 32 total punches, 23 jabs, 10 more than him, 9 power shots, 10 less, for a total of 10 punches landed for 31% accuracy.
That's supposed to be the round that...
That was the round that we were supposed to let him gas out. So he was just throwing power shots the whole time. We were just jabbing and moving, which is why it looks like that. We turn it back up into the third round for a total of 28 punches that he threw, 12 of them being jabs, 16 power shots, 6 of which landed. Terrible round for him for a 21% punch accuracy. Oof. For me,
just terrible.
42 total punches, 25 jabs, 17 power shots, landed 16 of them for a 38%. It's not beautiful, but it's almost half of the shots we're hitting. Mm-hmm. He punched 21%. I mean, that's not even a fourth of his shots are landing. And then it goes into round 4 where he threw a 19 total punches, 11 jabs, 9 power shots, 5 landed. 5 of those landed.
He was gassed.
He was gassed for a 26 punch accuracy. And then I threw 35 total punches, 16 jabs, 15 power shots, 21 of which landed for a 60% dominating win that we threw at the end.
The numbers don't lie.
And the numbers don't lie. And here's the craziest thing about it, and I know I'm kind of jumbling, is when we appealed this to the Pro Boxing Association, the PBA, I sat in a room with 2 lawyers, 2 judges, the head of the commission. I had a whole PowerPoint, which Moses decorated to look pretty. All these
had the clip art and everything.
Yeah, all these stats, and basically I appealed it to them. They were so impressed with it that everybody else got a decision with scorecards on it within 20 minutes. They actually milked mine out Friday, Saturday, Sunday, all of Monday, and gave me a decision this morning, Tuesday, November, what is today, the 8th, the 6th, basically saying that they sympathize for me. I was very respected. I did a great job presenting, but unfortunately, because there wasn't like some disaster in the building, meaning like there wasn't like a armed person shooting, there wasn't a fight, there was nothing that could have interfered with the referee or the judge. They sympathize with me, but they are unable to not only provide the score sheets for the bout, but overturn or contest a decision purely based off of that, which
I don't
is
get that. Shouldn't they have to like provide the scorecards and all
no.
that
So
stuff?
what they said is they watched the fight, they know I won the fight, but because there was no outlying factors within the building that affected the judge's judgment of that night, that they can't overturn the decision.
That's crazy.
It's actually good, and it's what I think. You know, Dan, you're a sports buff here. What I think was the initial downfall of boxing initially was these controversial and political decisions amongst three people that decide, you know,
Fate.
not only the fate, but a heavyweight championship.
Exactly that. And it's unfortunate too, because when you think about the card itself, it was supposed to be, and it still was, one of the biggest, fighting events of the entire year. But it sucks that not only your fight, which was the biggest robbery of the night, there was also a bunch of other fights as well from the PBA that apparently they didn't score the fights correctly. So it kind of like overshadows the actual event itself.
Yeah.
And it's kind of sad in a way because, I don't know, Misfits in general, everyone's done so well to like put these events on. And then, for someone to be in his camp, me and Gabby were so invested in being there every day to see him go through all that and then leave it in the hands to, people that ultimately got the decision wrong. It kind of sucks. You know what I mean? It's like, what was all that for?
It's crazy too because it was 40% of the fights people appealed, like went to the appeals. 40% on one card.
And
What?
And the worst thing about it is, I cried. I was absolutely in tears. I cried. I was the most sad, and I wasn't sad because of the result. I was sad because I understood the investments that Moses puts in, you put in, every coach has put in. I understand the extent of nobody likes to wake up early and go watch me hit pads for an hour or 2 hours and then go train again and then train again and watch her die. Nobody likes to make sure that the dogs are always sorted and the house is together and the travel plans and the bags are packed. Nobody wants to do all that. There's so many things that go into what it is that you guys helped me do, that I sat there and I was upset because I was more mad because I felt like, in my heart, did I do my job? And I'm the first one. You guys know this. You're my best friend. I'd say it to you, like, you got your job and you're my best friend. I tell you all the time, and you do your job. And like, I'm always on you guys about doing your jobs. And it's just like, did I get my job done? And the answer was no. And that was the most disheartening thing, is like, whether, we all saw the comments. It was 2,000 comments of Chase got robbed. We saw the internet. It was clip after clip of, this is the most embarrassing thing that could have possibly happened. But at the end of the day, that kid, he robbed the moment. He took the spotlight for the night, and shout out to him. He's 19 years old. But here's the thing, when we're done, and at the end of the day, and we put this to bed and we put this behind us, we are not looking at this anymore. We got the next fight. We know who we're fighting. We go again very, very, very soon, whether we can announce that or not. But it's a quick turnaround, and you're an athlete.
I work out.
You work out. You understand.
I'm supportive. Okay.
You're yeah, exactly.
That's the most important role, is the supportive person.
You understand that you got to have short-term memory loss with this, and you gotta go again. It's like I said before. It's like we woke up and the sun was up and we were back in the gym, and it's easy to. Today was not a good day for me.
Oh, I can attest to that. I was there with you when you got the news.
But can you also attest that I still got the workout?
Yeah, you still did. So it was on the way this morning to your boxing.
After the second workout.
Yeah, this is after his second workout. He went to the gym and ran 5 miles, and then we were in the car on the way to boxing. And all of a sudden, Chase is like, "Oh, I got an email from the PBA." And he opens it, he starts reading it, and I'm just like silent. I actually started recording because I was like, oh, I think he's gonna, get the appeal. Like, I want to have this, this little moment.
You're like, finally, we're getting good news.
Exactly.
Like,
Unfortunately, that was not the case.
We got some good news. We were the face of Gymshark for November, though.
Yeah. We'll talk about that in a second.
Chase Shark.
Chase Shark, yeah. But yeah, you just got silent and you just started your warm up at the boxing gym, not talking to anyone. And even your coach comes up to me and is like, "Is he good? I saw the news." And I'm like, Well, what do you expect? Like he's taking it. He's taking it.
Pause.
Big pause.
And here's the thing, and it's like it goes back to what I try to like, on an all serious note. You guys know, like I'm a big advocate and like trying to practice what I preach, and I always say to everybody, like in your darkest moments, your darkest days, when you got to be your brightest. And I say like it's easy to not show up to the gym. It's easy to go and have like a cheat meal and go, get trashed and this and that. And it's just like I always say it, don't I? Like you can self-destruct, right? And it's like, it's important. It's like my dad, he used to tell me all the time, he's like, it's okay to hurt by something. You have to feel it to understand it. You have to understand it so you can move on from it. And it's like, yeah, this hurt. It hurt. It sucks. We didn't get the result that all of us wanted. Whether we take a loss for knocking somebody out, whether we take a controversial, we can't catch a break.
All over the spectrum.
All over the spectrum. But like, here's the thing is you feel it, you hurt by it, you understand it, and then you move on from it. Because if you sit there and you dwell on it, you have these moments of where you fluctuate and you don't want to do certain things. And I think that's not just in boxing, that's in, it's in life, it's anybody who's watching, whether it's in a relationship, whether it's on social media, whether it's, you can't even get your American citizenship, whatever it is, you know what I mean? It's like the biggest thing is you just keep getting up and you keep going the next day, because everybody is a soldier when there's no war. Everybody's a lion when there's not another lion. It's just like you really gotta, especially me, when you have a platform and you have people watching, and there's millions of people. We watched the video on the way over here. Kids devastated about this, and it's deeper than me. It's deeper than us. It's deeper than the we. And I think that one thing, before we put this thing to sleep, is to understand is like the first thing is, we know how to finish a fight. Like, okay, like there's no more buddy, we're going to be nice to this kid. We understand that. You can't have a heart. Two, we understand that, the time that you put in is the time that's going to show. So we're going to be prepared for anybody, any place, anywhere. And three, no matter the outcome of things, like the sun's always going to come up and you got to find the next thing. And when you find that next thing, whether it's Twitch streaming, whether it's being a fitness influencer, right, you got to go with it, because you don't know. You might not get a third chance, fourth chance, you know what I mean? And, the PBA sucks. So
yeah, they do.
So big F's in the chat for the PBA.
Fuck the PBA.
Gary Olive, we're not giving him any more clout. That guy is this guy's the happiest plumber in the world. He's scraping toilets right now, happy that his champion got beat up for a fake belt, I think of it like this. It's like when you get in a fight at school and you get beat up by the school bully, and then you tell everybody you won the fight because the school bully got suspended.
Well, I think it's crazy too, like how we were talking about earlier. Chase is the villain. No one really likes him. Everyone likes to hate on him. And yet, despite that, all the positive comments in your favor has been crazy. Like, of course, I expected it, but like I expected a little bit more hate, not gonna lie. I'm sure they're
biggest haters.
Yeah, even his biggest haters are like, wow, Chase got robbed.
They go, as much as it kills me to say this,
Yes.
Fair play, Chase, you got robbed.
No, exactly. And so it kind of just goes to show how some things are in favor of, the home team, but it also goes to show like what you do after is also important. Like you were saying, you can either self-destruct or continue on, and it kind of just shows like your own character.
Yeah, and here's the thing. Like just some last final touches on this, like just going over some stats. We were a prelim fight. For those of you guys don't know, we weren't even on the main card. We had the third most viewed fight. We tied with Dean the Great in the lead, which was built up for over a year. Both of them have platforms. We tied with Logan Paul and Dylan Dennis, who was viral all over the internet. Or we didn't tie with them. They beat us up by a little bit. And we got beat out by a little bit more by KSI and Tommy Fury, who owned the event. But just in retrospect, we were a prelim fight. We beat out Salt, Poppy, and Slim. We beat out the tag team that misses. All these people, we had more views. We are the most talked about fight outside of Dylan Dennis. We have a successful podcast.
Let's go.
Number 3 in the world.
Unscripted.
A successful business. We all have our teeth. We're good-looking people. And so, based off of the impressions on Twitter, we had over 10 million impressions on Twitter across the board. 10 million. My Instagram, 15 million impressions across the board. TikTok, 20 million impressions. YouTube, 100 million impressions. 100 million total across the board. That's the Prime card, including specifically our fight. Those numbers attest to what the boxing space has done for people, and it would be almost a mockery, a shame if we were just like, oh, we lost another one. Let's pack it up and go. You know, we
wasn't even a thought.
never thought. What do we
Just
say?
keep going.
What that
On to the
transition?
next.
We still took a vacation, mind you.
Yeah,
This is
It was a great
But-
one as well.
One thing that I have a question for you. So no one really saw this unless you guys saw some random girl asking Chase a question after the fight, which my mouth hit the floor. This girl walks up to Chase and is like, can I like interview you for a TikTok? And I'm just standing there kind of watching. And then the words that come out of this girl's mouth.
You were like, did she just ask?
When did you realize you lost the fight? I look at him, my jaw drops, and I'm like, is this girl the biggest idiot in the world? Who goes up to someone right after their fight, right after they gave their all to something and something didn't go as planned? Who has the audacity to ask that question? I was so mad. I was like burning it. I was looking at you, Daniel, and I was like, this.
She was trying to get a reaction or something.
Yeah. I think what her content is she goes and she like baits people into like saying stuff, and that's how the people like that, you can't really give them a time of day. And I think we answered the best way possible. Like, regardless if you think that we're being biased, we have respectable people in the boxing. BJ Flores, Leon Willis, Coach Solomon, Mams Taylor, even really, if you want to get into it. Like, you have all these respectable people, Chris Sauerland, in the boxing community. Like, I'm friends with Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia, like all these people, Dean the Great, who messaged me saying, I don't see a scenario, and when you lose that fight, it's like, who cares what 3 panel judges say when you have the opinions of 8 of the greatest minds in boxing on your side?
Exactly. But would you do anything differently moving forward?
Yeah, I think there was a moment in the fight where I felt Frankie Temple Arts, I felt him going down, and he like fell into me, and I was holding him up, and I was like, come on, Frankie, we got to finish the fight. You know, there was a moment there where I looked over and I saw his mom covering her eyes. She's terrified. Her son's covered in blood. This 19-year-old, he just turned 19, covered in blood. I don't know if his nose is broken or not at this point. He's falling over. I'm like, come on, Frankie, this is influencer boxing. We got to put on a show. We're a prelim. This is what we have to do. You know, there was a point in the fight where, you know, I shrugged him off and he bounced. I could have threw an overhand right. But the human aspect in me is like, this kid has a family and a girlfriend and a mom. And the night before, when we did the official weigh-ins, his dad came up to me. He was like, just please take care of him in there. Obviously, my track record with the whole Stevie Knight thing, very dangerous. Knocked him out and kept punching. You know, we didn't want another situation with that. And this is a kid. He's a nice kid.
He was really sweet.
Yeah, he's really sweet. And like I was saying all week, was the one thing I said all week, nice guys don't finish fights, right? Yeah. And I think that when his dad said that to me, I was like humanized on the inside. I was like, I'm going to take care of your kid. You know what I mean? We're going to go on there. We're going to put on a boxing match. We're both going to walk away from this thing. And, you know, I think that was like the biggest thing is, you know, who's to say I don't throw one of those shots or like let him fall. And like that could win me a belt. But it also goes back to like, this isn't the WBC. This isn't the World Boxing Association, WBA, whatever it is. This is influencer boxing, and you have to have influencers around to do this. And it's like, in my head at the time, I was thinking, keep this kid around so that we have a heavyweight division. Postpartum, I'm like, yes, we would like the win, but here's the thing. Would you rather have a false victory, a false heavyweight championship saying like, hey, I'm the heavyweight champ of the world after taking an ass whooping like that? Or are you on the other end of the spectrum and you have the greatest minds in boxing, you have the whole Twitter community, the whole social media on your side saying, okay, like, regardless of what those 3 judges say, you won the fight.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't a true loss or anything like that.
No.
There was issues with it, and I think moving forward too, it just makes everyone more excited to see the next fight.
Well, I put it like this too. It's like if me and Temple Arts have a fight in the same city at the same time, the same night, who has more people show up? The heavyweight champ of the world or the 0-4 boxer?
Every time you say heavyweight champ, I still think of you.
I am the heavyweight champ.
People's champ. Everyone knows.
I'm the people's champ.
We've talked about it too, even after the Stevie fight, the result or whatever. And I've always said it to you, and I'll say it to you again. We always joke, but it's like Isn't that funny how like it actually will all end up working out?
They couldn't end
No,
up
exactly.
better.
In the moment, it sucks, and it's like, wow.
It's like, okay, we
You
beat.
won. You
We
wouldn't have
yeah,
got that.
exactly.
Yeah.
We go in there, we beat them up, and we go on. It's like, okay, you got a belt. We won. Whoop de whoop. We move on to the next one. But because we had a controversial decision, we extended that fight from October 14th. It's now the 6th, 7th of
Yeah.
November. We're just now wrapping this up. So we got all that extra weeks. We are training harder than ever. We already have the next fight lined up. We know when we're going again. Everybody
It
in
makes
this
some
room.
extra content.
We got
too.
extra content. And then, like this is going to carry on into the next one where it's like, okay, Chase dominantly beat up Tempo, which mind you, let's go back and rewind. Nobody on the internet gave me a shot in heck of beating this kid. Previously, we were supposed to go in there and get knocked out by this kid. Remember, it was Tempo by decapitation. Tempo was supposed to put me out. Remember all those talks?
The fighters too.
The fighters.
Was it Poppy?
Oh yeah, Saul Poppy thought I was getting knocked out. Waleed Sharks thought I was getting knocked out. Shout out Dean the Great for punching him in the mouth. And it's all love with Saul Poppy. We're both signed to Happy Punch. I love you, Saul Poppy. But these are the guys that counted me out.
They doubted you.
And now these are the same guys that are like, holy shit, as much as we hate to say it, you won, dude.
He didn't. They're like, he didn't really suck.
He doesn't suck. Holy
He's not
cow.
as bad as what was the first fight? Not Josh Bruckner. What was the one?
Corey Wharton.
Corey Wharton. That's
Like,
the one.
this
There's been
kid can-
so many fights too.
Yeah.
Let's just think about
I have
that.
the most
In
fights
the past year.
in the year. I fought 5 times last year.
And it's crazy to see the difference because I was there for the first fight versus the last
Shout out
one.
Moses.
Shout out to Moses.
Yeah, I
there
saw the
you go.
first one too. Well, there you saw the first one
I
too.
saw the first one. I wasn't
You were
there, but
watching.
Moses
He's coming.
100% right. It's like
Yeah, it's
every time though,
crazy.
there's like a drastic improvement.
Yeah.
After we get to see it because we're behind the scenes, but not everybody else does.
Like-
they just see the highlights and think, whatever.
Right.
But every time you've improved. So
Let's be
Exactly.
honest. The footwork,
The forward and everything, and it's
the
like
swings.
it's like we've dropped outside of Allen. We don't count Allen because he used 24 hours notice. But every fight we've dropped, we've never been
You did
dropped.
good, yeah.
And like here's the thing is like I'm just the kid from love dating shows. Like I was never supposed to be in a boxing ring, and
Played football.
I played football. Yeah,
You tackle people.
exactly. But just the last thing I'm gonna leave this with, and we're gonna bury the hatchet on this, is whatever anybody tells you that you can do in life. If you want to be a YouTuber, or if you want to be on TV, or whatever anybody tells you guys, you got to remember like nobody is writing your story. Like this, it's real life unscripted. It's real life unscripted. Like you can either be like what we call them NPCs, guys.
Oh my
How many NPCs do we see in a day?
too many.
Too many.
Too many.
And it's like you could go be an NPC and you could live in the Matrix and you could do whatever you
Simulation.
think, be a part of that simulation, or you could dare to be different. There's not a lot of people that would ever get in front of a camera and go on reality TV with their sister. There's not a lot of people that would ever start a YouTube channel with their toxic ex-boyfriend who sucks very much, and if he ever wants to box, then Daniel's got him. I'm just kidding. And regardless, like when we put this one to bed, we're gonna leave this studio, and we're on to the next guy, and that's what it is, and we're gonna blow his back out.
Oh my gosh. You know what? At least I'm not in the boxing ring. Imagine that.
And listen, we went from a prelim to a really, really high up on the card. And now we can't say a whole lot, but we're no longer ever fighting on a prelim again. Just that's where we're at.
And
right
it
now.
takes some guts to get into the ring too. You will never probably catch me throwing a swing.
It takes guts just being in the corner. Me and Moses are like freaking out on this sideline.
I'm good watching. I'll hold the
that's crazy.
camera. It's fine. I like the sideline view a little bit better.
But anyway, so Moses, so you just went on a spiel in the UK, moving on from boxing. You were just going off about on TikTok about the UK food.
The food. And I was getting flamed.
Yeah, go
by all
go
of
about
you
your
UK
experience
people.
here.
Okay, so here's the
UK
thing.
people, what can we say? Hold on.
What am I supposed to say?
All
They're
you-
not British. Not everyone in the UK is British. People
Fair
in the UK.
Fair enough.
Okay, so we're there. We all lost weight while we were there because the food is just not hitting. And before all you guys come for me saying the UK food is just not flavorful, yes, I'm used to fake additives, fake flavoring, things that cause me cancer. But you know what?
Wow.
One day something's going to kill me anyways. And
Hold
if
on.
I'm enjoying my life eating some good food, may as well be the food that kills me. But yeah, in the UK, the food, you were Googling it. It's like because of the wars and stuff that they would ration food back in the day. So then the recipes and whatnot wouldn't have as much flavoring. They also have stricter rules for their food guidelines.
Yeah, they can't have certain like colors and stuff in it.
No
And
red 40.
Yeah, and I remember reading online that it said like they ration like the ingredients and stuff so that they could do more of it. Regardless, but you were doing like a lot of like taste tests. Like, what did you try in the
on
UK that was so
TikTok.
bad?
Well, there's some things that were impressive, but every night we went out to these nice restaurants, dropping mad money. Not like crazy money, but like nice dinners. Like I got shepherd's pie one night, no flavor. I'm like, where's the flavor? Like, I don't know. But they did have some like good candies.
This is coming
Their
from a white girl from the
crackers-
Midwest asking about flavor. Like,
I
never
know,
thought I'd
that's
see
saying
today.
a lot.
She's like,
That's
"Where's that
saying a
red
lot.
hot?"
Where's that red
Exactly.
hot?
I need my Frank's Red Hot. I need some sriracha. Like, what is this? No, everything just tasted the same. Like, if you closed your eyes and, like, you hand me something, I think it's all the same thing. But they did have some good candy. But
Okay, and Daniel, how was your experience in the United Kingdom? That was your first time in a while, yeah?
Yeah, first time since I was a kid. But it was amazing. I loved it. The weather isn't the best. I like the sun, but food wasn't the best either. So you're not wrong. But I loved it.
How about when you went to the gym and you were so excited to go when the lady told us she doesn't do guest passes and you had got in contact with the management to let us get in there and train?
Yeah.
And you were so excited to go tell that lady. Yeah.
She's like, no, we don't like do any influencer stuff. You guys are gonna have to pay like 300 pounds for the week that we were there, which is just like outrageous.
Because you're on Canadian dollar, mind you, too. It's like double.
Exactly. And then it was funny because Chase ended up DMing them. I think they answered in like a minute.
Well, you were on the phone with them. You're like, yeah,
Of course, yeah. We spoke with them after, and then we came back, and she was all smiles, let us write in.
Yeah.
Would you like a
very-
towel too? We're like, of course. Give me a water too while you're at it.
they're just so by the book over there, too, which there's nothing wrong.
or whatever. They're
But,
walking
like,
into
us
me on the
Americans,
road.
we always like bend rules, and that's one thing I'm noticing traveling abroad. Like everyone hates Americans, let's be honest. But
Not me. You know, I go to war for them.
yeah, but I don't know.
Would you ever date somebody from the UK?
Yeah, as long as they have a good personality.
Yeah, it's such a generic
That
answer.
was a big scene
What am I
right there.
supposed?
That
I
was
don't
like-
care where someone's from. as
She
long
goes,
as, you know.
all those dry food Thanksgivings.
Well, if they could cook, you know,
What are they gonna cook? They're gonna cook UK food.
beans and toast. Oh,
Okay.
gosh.
Yeah, I don't know if you go. She's about to get canceled.
No, that's what they're known for. Beans and toast.
Dan, could you date somebody from the UK?
I'm not sure.
That distance is that
This
flight
is
was
too long.
crazy.
Obviously, I'd have to be there, but no, I wouldn't say like the women aren't attractive there. There's some beautiful women we saw. So
Every guy looked the exact same. I know someone's gonna flame me in the
I feel
comments,
like
but if I
most-
close my eyes or went like this and scrunched my eyes up, all the guys look the exact same haircut, same clothing style. No, I
agree.
swear the UK's or like even part of Europe even is stuck in like 2015 fashion. I'm not saying I
10
have good
years ago.
fashion. Like let's be honest, I buy the same thing in different colors and call that fashion.
I feel like UK women were pretty much all blonde as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or they had like a red hair. Remember I asked about the red hair over there? I guess it's like in trend or something right now. Being a redhead.
Maybe.
I don't know.
What
but
did you think of the UK people?
I mean,
You
like,
had some. Oh, you went on the dating show with Elle Brooks. You met
yeah.
all the UK ladies there. Lucky guy.
Yeah, so she sends me on a dating show. I bring Daniel with me because I'm like, it's 20 girls versus me.
And they're all
They're
they
okay.
have talents.
They're all different. They all flew in that
What
day.
talents did they have?
Well, they flew in that day to do the show, and all of them are OnlyFans girls. So they all have like specific things. Some of the ones that stood out to me is one of them who I actually think is a really nice girl. She's a good friend of mine. Is Tina. She likes to get peed on. That's like her thing. I asked her many questions like, "What's it like to get peed on? What's it
She has
taste
to buy a
like?"
certain type of soap
Yeah, she's like,
Like-
to
oh,
disinfect.
she's like,
She said I could pee on her.
yeah. She like makes you drink something specific before.
Yeah. She's like, you could pee on me if you want. It might be TOS, but you could definitely pee on me. I was like, okay, I'm gonna drink some water. We'll come back to this. There was a girl on there with 2 vaginas,
Not one.
Too.
and then I asked about that because I had so many questions. Like,
I mean, it's only natural. I'd be curious.
what do you mean you have 2 vaginas? And she goes, well, you can use both of them if you're with. And I'm like, so one is for fun and one is for when you're married. Like, do you have 2 different babies? Like, how does that work? You know, I was just
It's a
very.
valid question.
These are all valid. It was more of me in shock. And then, like, I had to, like, eventually I was trying to get out of that conversation. So I moved her on to the next friend. And Daniel comes over. Yeah, we got to get rid
Wasn't
of
there a
her.
grandma too?
Yeah, it was like, there's a grandma there.
I was like, I watched the video.
Basically, the way it was set up, though, like all of them have special talents, and there was one girl there that was
Talents.
relatively like on the more normal side, but the production wanted me to get rid of her, and I was like, nah, she's the most normal, best looking one. In my argument, and I was like, we're gonna keep her till the end. We already know who's gonna win this show, but. It was definitely an interesting time. Daniel hopped on there. Every time I voted a girl off, actually, they were shooting their shot with Daniel.
Yeah, I couldn't. It was weird. Like, I'm just sitting down watching him do it. I'm in my gym clothes all sweaty, and I get suckered right into it.
Yeah.
Or
You did not want
only Chase would get himself in these situations,
Daniel.
I would like to say. But
He had a good time. Daniel,
you
It was
always
a really
have
good
your
time. It
stories.
was awesome.
Daniel punched the punching bag, and I was like, okay, this guy.
Did you actually do good?
Yeah, it was all right.
What
really
was
good.
the score?
It was like 8 something.
Like 850 plus.
Yeah.
It was
Oh, what was yours? Like 900?
No, I didn't know. I didn't even touch on it. I think I only had like 870 or something, 860. Not even that
It
much
was like
time.
bad.
style.
Mine's like 600 whenever I hit it.
That's you would have beat most of them. One of the girls punched like 200. One of the girls hit 100, I think.
Is
Yeah.
that even possible? That's like a tap.
I don't think
Oh,
you're hitting
that's bad.
600.
But Elle was super cool. That was my first time meeting her through Chase, and it was actually a pretty good time.
Yeah, she's a super nice girl.
So
Some
sweet.
Piers
She always
Morgan.
says hi.
We love Piers Morgan.
British dude with opinions.
Oh, yeah. We love our opinionated people.
As the most opinionated person sits right next to me.
Hey, fair play, fair play. I'm only opinionated about right things. All right, first
Only
of all.
about right things. Okay.
Hey.
You could be arguing that the sky is green and you
Look, all I'm going to say, if somebody messed with my trash can outside of my door,
Okay.
there wouldn't be no YouTube videos of me crying about it. It would be
Hey,
me
got the
lighting their
views.
trash can on fire and putting their dog inside of it, probably.
Yeah, you would go a little bit too far. Sometimes Chase gets these ideas in his
Speaking
head,
of
and
pets,
I'm like,
I lost a pet today, guys.
oh no, there's a funeral.
And it was a funeral.
Daniel wasn't here for that.
And it's all Moses' fault.
It is not my fault. I didn't kill your pet.
She killed it. So,
I didn't mean to.
well, to get into it so people know, I asked,
I
do you want
talked
to tell a story, Moses?
I
You
talked
want
about
to talk?
it a
Go
little
ahead.
bit on TikTok Live, but no, continue with it because you're gonna tell it so right.
Yeah. So basically, I'm like on my computer. She goes, "There's no fish in the tank," and I go,
You're down to one.
"What do you mean? There's no fish in the tank? He's in there. He has to be in there, fish, right?" And I'm like, I wait for her to leave the room. I walk over. And I'm like, "There's no fish in here, right?" So while I was away, Moses bought a new fish tank,
A massive one. It's beautiful.
a new fish tank, right? And I'm like thinking in my head, like, you get a new fish tank, got to get new filters and stuff. So she got the filter that we had for the other one, but it doesn't fit the same because it's a lot smaller of a
No, I
tank.
bought a new filter.
Oh, so you got a bigger filter?
Yeah.
Okay, this makes even more sense now. So she bought a bigger, stronger filter, and I'm looking around, and I look at the filter because the tank's getting kind of dirty. And I'm like, why is the tank looking kind of dirty, right? Because there's a filter in there. So I go over there, and I look, and my fish is sideways getting sucked into the filter from the side. Like he was just there. What a way to go. What a way to go. So I pulled him off of the filter, and like my other fish just like swims around him, like very saddened because his buddy's dead now.
You gotta get a new one now.
And so now I know, we're stopping at the pet store on the way home, and I had to pick up my fish and walk him over and flush him down the toilet. My fish that I
you just
named,
put it in your hand too. I was shocked that you didn't get like the little scoopy thingy.
my fish named Kyle after
It
one of
was
Moses.
Kyle.
It was one of Moses' ex-boyfriends that I
No.
scooped. It was his name was Kyle, and I scooped him up. And I was like, R.I.P. Kyle. I won him at the fair 2 years ago, and he's a fair fish. He had a 2-year run.
That's a really long time.
He was a
for
big fish. He got
fish.
huge too. He would have made it.
Yeah, you won the little-
one because the other one's gonna get upset.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you won the little fair game. It was like shooting the.
I win
balls
every
in the
fair
hole.
game. I win every fair. I'm
Yeah, you do.
undefeated in fair game. There's a
You're
photo
competitive.
of Moses. I won her every prize at every stand,
My arms
and she's just
full.
walking around
We got
with
the
every
giraffe.
prize. And I was like, they made it personal.
Yeah, no, exactly. But yeah, the fish died. We had a little bit of a funeral this morning. I didn't mean to kill it. I was just up.
Yeah, I'm just gonna be keeping a very watchful eye on her and my 2 dogs. Let's
I'm
just
not
leave it
gonna
at
hurt
that.
Ghost or Douglas. Those are like my little children.
I posted it in my house the other day, and somebody swiped up on my Instagram story, and they go, "Hey, look, that's Gab's crib."
Because I dogs it.
And anybody who knows me knows that instantly.
What
What do you
button
think
does
happened to
that
him?
push?
How do you think that made me instantly feel?
Well, you probably said something mad.
Triggered.
Someone asked me if they could buy Douglas the other day, and I was like, "Name your price." No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. You would
Moses,
kill
I'll
me.
sell you
You
before
would.
I sell Douglas. Anyways, moving on from the pet. Let's get into the dating aspect of this. Moses, did you have some dating stories you wanted to share today?
Yeah, that was towards the end though, in the DMs. That's the very very end.
What do we got next?
I thought we were gonna talk about your trip.
Okay, so we and Daniel, we went to Stockholm. We saw a boat. What is it called, the boat?
The boss?
The Voss. We spent
This was after the fight too.
yeah,
They
we
went
still
on a
took a
little
vacation.
Euro
We won
trip.
that fight. We took a vacation.
We did.
I went back
Um,
to LA, took care of the doggos.
we went and saw a Viking boat in Stockholm, Sweden. Shout out, Stockholm was a cool area, but way too cold for us.
Way too cold. Way
The
too
place
cold.
of the Viking. Wait,
Very
Vikings
clean.
are from
Very
there, right?
clean. We
Very
did
cool.
those.
We will say the food was great. We ate some meatballs up in Sweden.
You got the
Um,
balls in your mouth.
Then
I saw the opportunity.
Hold on.
on.
That's fair play. Fair play. Then we took our talents down to the Czech Republic, and the most beautiful city Daniel and I have ever laid our eyes on.
Yeah, you woke
Actually,
me up
that's
at
in the morning.
3:30 in the morning. Look at where I am. It looks like a storybook. I'm like, thanks, Chase. I'm going back to sleep now.
It actually looked like
It was
it's
insane.
a museum.
It was
You got me a
insane.
little duck. Oh,
I
my
did.
keys are in the car.
Yeah, I got you.
with
Rubber
me.
ducky, rubber ducky. Anyways, yeah, so we saw that. We got some good food in Prague finally.
Very good.
What type of food do they have in Prague?
Kielbasa.
Kielbasa is like hot dog sausages, stuff like this, like European food. They had like a rotating ham that we went to a couple times.
Your food.
Hamon. Is it ham?
Yeah, I got bullied by a homeless man for my food. Like Daniel got him some food and gave it to him, and I'm sitting there at the table eating, and he walks over and goes, I was like, I'm eating here. He's get right. Come on, takes my food.
You were
Right.
nice enough to give it to him, but
Yeah, I gave him whatever. So we ended up doing Prague for a few days. And then we hopped on a flight, went over to Spain, and we did some very incredible things in Spain. We caught the FC Barcelona and FC Madrid, El Clasico.
two of the craziest games you could ever go.
Oh my God, and I have a story for
You
that.
guys are bad.
I
with terms,
lost.
though.
I think I lost my temper or my temperament, whatever the word is. I can't even think of it right now. But I lost my tempo. Tempo.
What I don't even know
Temper.
what you're trying to say.
I lost my temper when you get mad about something.
Oh,
Tempo.
Temper.
Tempo.
Arts face down.
Yeah. I lost my temper because I didn't understand what was going on. Me and Daniel marched down to this thing, and I was video recording
The ultras.
the-
So it's like super fans essentially.
yeah, but like one of them came and pushed me, and I like lost it. I was not there. I was snapping on everybody. I was like so blacked out.
What
If you know this guy,
Why'd
like,
he
I'm gonna
push
be honest
you?
with you. Like I'm a big guy. Like I can usually hold people back. This guy was about to, I think, go after. But
Oh yeah,
you?
I snuck across the line. I was just like side eyeing this guy. Like I just hit him one, hit him twice. He's done.
This
So
is
you almost
before
got
the
a-
game, too.
This is before the
so
game.
you almost got arrested in a foreign country.
No, I
I'm
didn't
hearing.
almost get arrested. I didn't.
No one was looking. That's
No,
why.
these ultras like
They're just like a gang of
crazy super fans.
Yeah,
They're
like
just trying to
hooligan.
hype
they
you.
pick
So it's
fights.
like Chiefs fans.
No,
No,
like
it's
they
way
pick
worse.
fights. They're
Oh. Way
physical. They wear like all black and they cover their
Like
face up
balaclavas
and they
and all.
attack other fans.
Oh.
Anyways, had that situation, calmed down finally, went into the stadium, only to find out, one, they don't even serve alcohol in the stadium. So if you're ever in Spain and you try to go to some sort of
I
game,
thought they did at the game we went to.
no, it's fake beer.
Yeah, it's non-alcoholic.
You just eat drinking calories.
So you're paying extra money for
For
a
nothing.
beverage that doesn't even have alcohol?
Exactly.
Doesn't make sense at all.
Yeah.
That's why
The
everyone-
math is not
That's why everyone
mathing.
gets messed up before
Before the game. Right. And so like we did that. We had a great time, Daniel and I, and we spent Halloween there. Dan ended up getting like a little bit sick. So the last couple of days he was just kind of just bedridden for a bit. And then we caught our flight back to the US.
I also saved your life one night in Spain. Do you want to tell that story?
You didn't really say, all you did was call a cab.
I kind of want to hear the story.
She didn't
I
save my
saved
life.
his life.
She's convinced that she did something because all she did was I didn't have phone service and you called the
And
taxi.
even the person that you're with.
I paid for the taxi.
I know, but even the person that you were with couldn't
Didn't-
figure out how to get a taxi.
He was drunk.
So if you live in a country, you should.
All
be
I
able
did
to
was
find
send you a
car.
text and say, hey, Moses, I'm stuck at this party that's 40 minutes away from Barcelona. Can you find me a cab? You Googled cabs in Barcelona, called them and said, hey, he's right here. Can you go
And
get
it
them?
was 5
And they
in the
said yes.
morning.
I paid for the cab. You didn't come get me.
I found the cab. It took me like an hour and downloading like 5 different apps because he was in the middle of nowhere.
You were so annoying. Sure, Moses.
Come
yes.
on, give me credit.
I'm not giving you. All you did was call a cab.
And otherwise, you would have been sleeping on the side of the road.
Thank you for calling a cab. Because
Okay, you're welcome. Oh, that's all I wanted.
Okay, anyway, so we came back all the way to LA and we went to BlizzCon and this is my favorite story of BlizzCon. All of you that don't know what BlizzCon is, it's basically like a big nerd convention. We talk about video games. I'm a big World of Warcraft player. A lot of people know. Love that game. Went to the con for it. And fast forward through the entire process, my favorite point in this entire con was we were all standing in an open room. My friends were doing like interviews. They do like Twitch streaming. Sony and Sarth, big in the Twitch community. If you guys get some time, go check them out. They're very nice people. I was standing there with two other guys while they were doing like their photos and their meet and greets. And this is where I give mad credit to somebody. So Moses obviously doesn't look like she plays a lot of video games. Big nerd fest. She's probably arguably the best looking girl inside the whole venue. So this little tiny kid, like very dorky looking, had glasses on, very pale, never seen the sun in his life, comes up in like an oversized Bengals cap, a signed Bengals jersey.
It was like a button-up polo.
Signed right across the middle, right? He comes up. I didn't even see him come up. All I see is I turn, I see Moses talking to this kid. She says he tapped him on the shoulder, and you can take over from that.
So he taps me on the shoulder like this, excuse me? And like so soft-spoken.
Mind you, he comes up to her while she's standing with like three ginormous looking guys, right?
And so I just was not expecting it. So I was a little bit confused, and I was like, oh, hi, what's up? 'Cause, I'm awkward in these situations. He's like, I just wanted to see how you were. And like puts out his hand, and I shake his hand. He's like, I hope you're having like a fun time here. I'm like, yeah, I am. How's your time? And he's like, oh, I'm having a good time. Like, I don't know, like very short conversation. I end up giving him like 3 different handshakes. And then he's like, okay. And then walks away.
Shoot.
Yeah, and here's where I was at. I saw the beginning of this interaction, and I completely turned away from it because I was like, I wouldn't even do that. Like the amount of stones it takes to walk up to a girl, let alone walk up to arguably the best looking girl, and walk up to her when she's with 3 other guys.
And they're all so much taller. Like this kid was my height.
At a video game convention when this guy has almost probably next to no social skills. Yeah. And he has no idea who she is or I am or anybody. And like I thought of that in that moment. I was like, 2 things could happen here. One, we could all just look at him like he's crazy. And that kid just shuts down and never does that again. He's like, that was the worst case scenario. Or like I was letting my friend Clay, what I kept on like kind of like not letting him look at him because Clay was trying to be awkward with him and kind of shoot him away.
He's trying to go like the head turn.
And I was like, just relax, let him do his thing, because you want him to go up and do an interaction with that, whether it ends in his favor or not. But like it's like a mental thing. Like you went up to a very good looking, attractive girl in the middle of a nerd convention and you were able to speak to her. I don't know about you.
I probably wouldn't even.
I wouldn't do that.
It was so sweet, though. I just wanted to give him a hug. I was like, wow. Like, good for you, buddy.
Is that what you want to do? Because I'm pretty sure I told you better have been nice to him.
I was so nice. I was so
I was like, yeah, it was like that to me, it actually inspired me. Like, that's part of the reason why I got up and worked out this week. I was like, man, if that kid can muster up the courage to do something, I could be completely wrong. He could be like a ladies' man, just a killer. The dude's got a signed Bengals jersey. Like, he could be able to. You know what I mean?
Shoots a shuttle.
But you know what I mean? Like he came up and he spit his riz at Moses and like that, that takes like who is he?
That takes some
He was probably like 5'6", 5'7". He's probably the same height. He's maybe like $140 soaking wet. Like, shout out to him. Like that's huge because in that moment he probably just walked away and he was like, yeah.
I did that.
He went home that night, had a grin on his face, was happy. Like I talked to a pretty girl, and who knows? That builds into the next time he goes somewhere. If he could do it with her, he could do it with her and her and her and her and anybody. And like,
so this is your sign. Shoot your shot.
Especially if you want this one, because I'm trying to get rid of her.
Hey now. But yeah, that just goes to show you will not know unless you try. Like even if it's like a simple interaction as to saying like, oh hey, how's your day? Like hope you're having fun. Like. That's cool. Whatever. You don't know where that conversation is going to go.
What's the worst that could happen?
Yeah,
exactly.
Would you? But honestly, like if you were that kid, what do you think? Like, do you think that was a big part?
I definitely think that was like a huge plan on his part. I'll be real with you.
Yeah.
With myself, like absolutely not. I don't really do that.
No.
Or someone that like reads energy. If I'm making eye contact with someone, I can kind of feel that out. I'm not just gonna go up to a guy.
I think I've seen you do it one time ever. Like,
no, and when I said,
was it successful or no?
All you did was say hi, and I was like, you said words to somebody else. Yeah. That's new to me.
No, this kid also appeared out of nowhere. I did not see him coming.
And
I just feel a shoulder tap. I'm like, oh. That's sweet.
Well, like that's what I'm getting at. Is it's like all the viewers watching right now. Like some of you guys come to these podcasts and you're like, hey, like they're going to say something that's going to give me advice. They're going to say something that's going to help me get that date, get that guy, that girl, whatever it is. And it's just like, you come here and we're going to tell you straight up, this happened literally 48 hours ago. I watched a kid who a lot of people would say had no business coming up to somebody like that. In my head, I'm like, he had 100% business coming up.
You're rooting him on.
I was bad. Hey, bro, if you
like, let him do his thing.
I told all my
You
friends,
literally body, and you put your body so that he couldn't see your face.
I set him up a
so that he could talk to me more.
Because it goes back to, like I said, it's like those moments right there. You have two options. You could self-destruct, and he never does something like that again. Yeah. Or now he built confidence because you never know. You never know. Like, he doesn't know what's going on with her. He might not. But in his head, he's like, I will never know unless I shoot that shot.
In his head, he's like, I might not ever get this shot again. I feel like I need to go say something.
Why?
It's like you being in the airport, you see the most beautiful girl, and you're like, I'm never going to see her again if I don't say something.
You may as well
and then
go
I don't
say
say
hi.
something, and it was like that. She was the love of my life.
Yeah, you know, you live happily ever after. And then it's like, you go home that night and you're just kicking yourself like, man, like, I wish I would have just said hi. I wish I would have did this. I wish I would, like, live in the moment, guys.
And this is a message to all the ladies out there. Don't be rude when a guy comes up to you. Don't automatically, like, make up the thing, I have a boyfriend. We were talking about this the other day. Be nice at least and, like, let them say their name.
Yeah.
You know?
She's talking about this situation that I had in Spain with Daniel when this girl on Halloween had vampire blood on her face. And we're in a club, and I leaned over, and I was like, yo, where'd you get your vampire blood? She goes, I have a boyfriend. Okay. So where'd you get the vampire blood? I have a boyfriend. And I'm like, okay. Do I have to have a boyfriend to get, did you get the vampire blood from the, you know, at that point, you know, and then, you know, they have like their little flash of realizing like, oh, that's Chase from Two Out the Handle, when they see all the people taking photos and stuff, and they come up to me, and I don't even have a girlfriend, but I'd be like, sorry, I have a girlfriend, just to be petty. Or like, you know, I walk outside and what if she's getting robbed? And she's like, help. I'm be like, sorry, you got a boyfriend. You better call him. I'm not a hero.
No.
Gosh, yeah. But ladies, be nicer to guys when they come up to you.
Yeah.
Just be thoughtful and sweet.
And that's the dating advice for the day. Like, shoot all your shots. Be kind to everybody because you never know who you're talking to. And don't ever, 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 ever be intimidated by anybody. If you and that person or said person are in the same room, you guys are the same people at that point. Whether you're in a room with Drake, if you're in a room with, you know, Post Malone, like if you guys are in the same area, like they breathe too. Like, take it from me, we've met a lot of celebrities. Like they're people. Like,
Yeah, exactly. They're not special.
anyways, so.
But guys, now it's time for your guys' favorite segment where we talk about things that you DM us. It's time for In the DMs. And this time I asked a question, and that was, what was your worst date? So guys, I have some really bad dates that I got from the Unscripted Instagram account and TikTok and all that stuff. So guys, be sure you're following that too, because we ask for those prompts like every single week on that. So give it a follow. But okay, first one's first. This guy says, I had to learn about angles and filters the hard way. Matched on Tinder, but she wouldn't ever Snapchat me without a filter and a special angle. Fast forward to the date, she looks nothing like her pictures, so I told her I left my phone in the car, drove off immediately, blocked her as I made eye contact while driving through the window.
Okay, damn.
That's a tough one. So just based off that, at least my rule of thumb, I don't really do dating apps or anything like that. But if you don't know what someone looks like or you see filters, just say, hey, why don't we FaceTime sometime?
That's good advice.
So
Have you done
really
that before?
I have FaceTime because I'm like, I want to see what you look like, you know?
Have you ever had like a situation where the FaceTime was not good and then,
Like what she looked like?
yeah, you're like, that's probably not it. Or you have a pretty good idea before you get that.
Pretty good indication, but think about this. When you go on a date with someone, right, they're always looking their best. Sometimes I like to, you know, catch them off guard. Call them on a Tuesday.
Call him on a Tuesday.
There's a type that calls his ex on her birthday when she's got a whole new man just to be like, hey, just check it in.
Way to be toxic.
No,
wow.
I'm just
like that. He's kidding.
No, you
Good
also
guy.
have to look at their tagged posts.
Yeah.
to see the real them.
That's true. That's true.
Because their friends post the pictures that they look good in, but not necessarily what the friends look good in.
That's a good point. That's a good point. And here's the thing with that. Well, like I said, my advice to that kid is, I don't know if I'm speeding away and going off, because sometimes like we can all attest that we have our days where we don't feel our best or look our best. So I mean, like similar to what Daniel says, he goes on a date and they look good, but he wants to see what they look like when they're not good. If you purely base your entire decision off of what they look like when they're at their worst, then I mean, like, I hate to say it, but you might not deserve them when they're at their best either. You know what I mean? Because I think we can all attest that there's lots of very good-looking girls that aren't with the best-looking guys for the wrong reasons, and vice versa. You know what I mean? And, big props to him for, stepping out and doing his thing. But here's the thing. If you're going to risk dating on a dating app, then you need to also be able to face the repercussions of that dating app. What was that thing we were talking about earlier today? I ain't that strong.
Yeah, he's like, you look strong. He's like, I ain't that strong.
But he was there.
Yeah.
He was there. I also think that judging a book by its first cover is very tough too, because like, here's the thing. Even with Moses, a lot of people know me as the cockroach guy from Two Out the Handle. They just see the one scene where I look I'm in like a fucking turtleneck. I got like a double chin, I got a bug on my face, the hair, a greasy face, a messed up hairline, and a giant roach on my face. Right? Everybody's seen that. So as far as I'm concerned, I wasn't really diving into the ladies' categories. But like Moses is somebody who I watched on YouTube for a very long time.
Yeah, Chase used to be my fan.
Yeah. Still am her fan, but I messaged her saying, keep up the good work. I like your videos. Yeah, she didn't have to message me back, and we wouldn't be sitting here right now, but she did, because whether she took the chance of what I look like at my worst or what I look at my best, we became the best of pals, and here we are with the #1 podcast in the world.
Exactly. You've been watching me since 2017. Before that even.
Anyway, moral of the story though too, with the dating apps, be careful. Technology is getting better. That's my only point.
Dude, you see that AI stuff?
That's what I'm saying.
You can have like a fake girlfriend.
It's gonna be like the man side sales situation. You think you're talking to your girl X amount of time. You put all that time and effort. You
gotta brief him on what is the Manti Te'o situation.
The Manti Te'o situation was, he was a football player. He thought he had a long distance relationship with a girl. He was actually talking to, I think it was a guy on the other end.
Yeah, it was a guy. There's a Netflix documentary.
Exactly. So moral of the story is like, FaceTime them, try and get to know them, talk to them on the phone.
See them without the Facetune.
Yeah.
Do you have like a couple like go-to like questions that you initially would ask like a girl, like if you're just not getting to know them? Because I know like a lot of people ask like, how do I get a conversation started with like a girl? Because like I feel like for us, we really know if it's flowing, if it's good or not. Do you have like initial like, okay, this is how I'm starting the conversation the first day, like from the highs to like what's your signs?
Normally it'd be like, try and get to know them a little bit. What do you do for work? Try and connect something like what are their hobbies or whatever. Try and relate that. And then, eventually when you're talking, I try and say like, oh, it'd be nice to talk to you on the phone sometime, get to know you a little bit better. I don't really like.
Oh, that's smooth.
Yeah. And what I say too is like, I'm not really a texter, so it'd be nice for you to get to know me a little bit more on the phone. I'm more personable that way.
Oh, that's
so I talk to him on the phone, and then through that you can FaceTime because it's easier.
Yeah, you're a terrible texter. The only time I ever see Daniel texting is in the fantasy football group chat. He's like, guys, set your lineups.
I'm a FaceTimer too, though. I'll just FaceTime people.
Yeah, Moses used to sit on FaceTime for like 6 hours, I feel like.
Yeah, we used to talk a lot on FaceTime before we met in person.
Yeah,
we would just talk.
I don't like.
Think about it this way too.
Like
you're trying to get to know somebody.
You like Snapchat?
Right? You're trying to get to know somebody, and all you're doing is texting. There's not going to be anything when you're actually in front of them.
Because you read things out of context all the time. You typically read things in the emotion you're in. And then, like, I feel like sometimes, like, for example, even in the dating scene, say, like, you have, like, a pick of, like, 3 or 4 different girls or guys that you're talking to. Is it hard to maintain 4 separate conversations about the same thing? Like, I don't know what I told person 1 and person 3 and person 5. You know what I mean? So it's like sometimes you get jumbled and you're like, oh, hey, do you remember me telling you about that? Oh, no, actually, that must have been your other girlfriend. In all reality, you say, yeah, haha, but in your head, you're like, yeah, maybe I did.
Oh, my goodness.
Got him.
We got him. So to go on that, so Dan, what is your idea of what would constitute as, what is a good first date and what is a not good first date?
What's a good first date?
Yes.
I think a good first date is going somewhere, not like dinner or anything, because dinner to me is more romantic. Maybe going to like a drink spot. So you go and have a drink that way. And I'm not saying you go and get like drunk or anything, but you go and have a drink where, you know, the nerves are a little bit lower and she feels like you guys feel more comfortable talking to each other for the first time. If I have a drink with someone, they have a drink, you know, the laughs are flowing.
Yeah.
You get to know them a little bit.
See, I'm the opposite. I would not drink on a first date.
Well, because when you drink, Moses, you start yelling at everybody.
I don't yell. It's
I'm
always
saying,
we're in
get
loud
some wine
situations.
or like have like a little cocktail, something like that.
Yeah.
But
In like a lower
More
setting, chill setting, so you can. Okay, and then what would be a bad first date? Movies.
Probably movies. Even though I love popcorn, because I'll just be eating popcorn in front of her. Not
You eat so much popcorn.
Diet Coke and popcorn.
Yeah, movies is more of like you're actually dating. You know, you need to go into a setting where it's comfortable for both of you. You're laughing, you're talking, and you're getting to know them. That's what it's about.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then what is like in your opinion, would you say like a telltale sign of like what makes somebody attractive to you? Like, are you one of those people that's like, oh, you're very attractive because of your confidence, because of your teeth, because of your education? And,
I think like confidence in like who they are, not someone like I'm trying to get to know them, right? I don't want them telling me something to like impress me. I want to like actually get to know them. I'm more of like a listener. So when I go on a first date, I don't want to tell them so much about me. I'm trying to get to know them.
Mm-hmm.
And then from that, you're going to be more open. But
Yeah.
I think it's just, listening to what they have to say and seeing how comfortable they are with you.
Yeah, I think, I went to school, obviously, studied relationship therapy. And one of the very first things they teach you about dating is people get like an endorphin release when they like to talk about things that they have going on with themselves. People like talking about themselves. So when you go on these dates, a lot of the times, typically like girls, they're pretty nervous at first. You kind of do the majority of the talking, in my experience anyways, to begin with. But you notice as you make them feel more comfortable through the date, they transition. Yeah. And the first question, like almost every girl asks, oh, so what's your sign? Oh, you're one of those? And then they just go and they pitter-patter off of that.
Not every girl asks that.
Most, though.
Only here in LA.
And it's the same. It'll be like this.
Are you
sign?
kidding
And then you'll say it. They'll be like, I knew it. It's like,
oh, I can't have one of you.
Okay, that's a sign that girl.
From now on, just lie about your sign. Just say some random one, see what they say, and then when they say something, just say something. What do you ask them, Moses?
You ask them about like funny stories in their life. Like, oh, what's one of your most embarrassing moments?
Hey, I just met you. What's your most embarrassing moment?
Get comfortable.
When I was in the 5th grade talent show, I actually shit myself.
Exactly. I would love to hear that story.
Yeah.
Like, come on, don't ask basic stuff.
It was actually great. Yeah, it was actually really embarrassing. My grandma came and had to bring me a shirt that says "I love my grandma."
Or you can just ask more interesting questions, like, "Oh, so tell me about like your college experience. Were you in a fraternity, sorority?"
Yeah, I used to get ran through in college. Like, where are these questions coming from?
No, you just don't have to ask like basic stuff.
Do you
but
Google questions when you go into this?
No. But I have another story to ask you guys about. Another bad date. Okay. I went on a date with a bodybuilder. This is in quotations. And he took me to the Cheesecake Factory. He brought a whole scale to the restaurant and weighed out all his food and proceeded to only talk about himself in bodybuilding.
Did you go on a date, Dan?
So he brought a scale?
He brought a food scale.
He's like weighing his chicken and steak.
Yes.
First off, whoever
too far?
Whoever that is, you deserve a round of applause. That is just amazing.
That's something.
I knew you were gonna say that, dude.
But I'm gonna be honest, that's a little too much. Like
it's a little bit too far, if you ask me.
I mean, like, you got to give the guy credit. I'm playing devil's advocate here, but these are the type of things that he's accountable for. Because like, think in your head, like, if he is responsible enough to go on a date and bring a scale and worry about his nutrition and whatever, if he's a bodybuilder or not,
he's in prep.
Yeah, he's in prep. Think about if if he was, somewhere and you weren't there and, he was dedicated to his food as much as he is to you, then you have nothing to worry about.
You imagine, though, he just, pulls out the scale? Like, did he have it the whole time? I have so many questions.
Where'd that go? It's in his pocket.
Yeah, and he just whips it out. Like, oh, 1 second before we start.
Did he get a second date? Did she go on a date?
No, that's all she said to me.
Oh, my God.
So she just said, it was
how terrible it was.
He pulled out the scale?
I don't think that's
What
weird.
guy
I think, he's just got a hobby. It's the same. Okay,
on a first date. Wait a second. I got to go back to the car and get my scale.
Oh, he's an amazing prep. He doesn't know if that day I can't be sacrificing my Mr. Olympia for this.
Well, then eyeball
chicken taco.
Guys, do your research before you go on the date. Like, look at the Instagram, look at the Facebook. Like, look at
this guy said, get into the ingredients.
You had to know that he's a bodybuilder like that, right?
Well, it was in quotation, so I don't think this guy was a real bodybuilder.
Well, he must be. Why else would he bring a scale?
I'm gonna be honest with you. If he brought a scale and he's not at least in great shape,
If he doesn't have a six-pack and he brought a scale to dinner, like,
That's crazy.
what are you doing?
Oh my
That's
God.
crazy. But I have another one. Or do you guys have anything you want to say to finish that one up?
No.
you got any advice for the guy here?
Okay, so here's my advice for this guy. Like, okay, like maybe, like what I do when I'm prepping is like I normally eat my meal before I go on the date. So when I get there, I can order something on the lighter side. Like if I want to eat like a salad and water and stuff, I'm not gonna be hungry. I can just get it. And if she asks about it, it's like, sorry, normally I would get a steak, but one I ate right before I came here because I'm in prep for a show. I would be very transparent about that
That's good.
going into it. It would never be I got there and now I'm gonna try to like, prep while I'm on this date. It's two different things you
Yeah.
gotta live in. So
No, that makes sense.
that's my advice for him.
We'll wait till you hear this.
Also
next
text
one.
her, bro. I'm like text her, be like, hey, look, I'm sorry, I left the scale, but I'm trying to lift you too. You know what I mean?
Should work.
Should work.
Anyways, so this next one. So I met this girl on a dating app in a small town in
Dating apps.
Ontario.
Ontario, Canada.
Canada.
Oh, woo.
There you go. We go on a few boring dates, but here we go.
few.
Cue the story. I matched with this one girl. She agrees to meet, but there was something odd about the conversation. She was eager to meet, almost suspiciously eager. I get to the Starbucks and wait inside for 20 minutes to pass the agreement time. Girl texts me, says she's running late, and asks me to stand outside so she can see me as I drive by. I look over and there's another dude standing on the sidewalk with his phone in hand. Recognize him from the gym. I ask if he's also meeting a girl and what her name is. Turns out the girl was pulling a fast one on us both as revenge for her girlfriend, who we both apparently dated at once and didn't like. So him and I went to go get ice cream together and sent her a photo of us having a great time together.
Well, first off, shout out to the bros for that one.
Yeah, legend.
But
Legend.
I don't know what's up with the girl. Like,
I mean, like I said, I play devil's advocate. Yeah, I get the pettiness. We love a good petty moment. But like it goes back to what you were saying earlier, Dan. Check the Facebooks, check the Instagrams, give a couple FaceTime calls, make sure this is like I don't know if I'm just showing up somewhere.
yeah, and at this point, I'm gonna be honest. I think like dating apps just gotta go. Like
Yeah.
I don't think that's. I don't think it's.
They're not
gonna be-
realistic. It's not healthy.
I mean, I've met a couple people I've met on dating apps, don't get me wrong, but like the way I terminize a dating app is you have a dating app. The whole purpose of it is like, okay, I'm in a new area. I'm going to get this dating app. I'm going to see who are my eligible singles around because all I want out of this is a quick hookup and I'm bouncing. That's it. That's all I need.
My thinking is like, you go on the dating app, right? You see this girl. I'm like, okay, she's my type. She's a beautiful girl. How many other people have messaged her and how many is she answering back? Like,
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
gonna go on a date with her and she's done like 17. She's got the Hinge XXX plus, and she gets the answer and send likes and roses. all
Girls getting a free meal every night of the week.
No, do you want to know what's so funny? I know so many girls in college who would download dating apps just to get free food.
That's what I'm
It's a thing. It's a thing.
You know what? Maybe we gotta go back to this kid who went up to Moses at BlizzCon.
Yeah.
We gotta do it.
Those are the
old-fashioned
kids.
way.
That
Go-
kid's
go
a
to
video
somebody you
game
like.
nerd.
Don't do these dating apps.
And listen, we're making a
Wait.
pact. We ain't taking no girls out to dinner. Now, you ain't getting no meals out of me.
Not yet.
You gotta build up to dinner too.
Yeah.
Wait,
On a walk
Daniel,
first.
Let's
don't
go.
you have dating apps?
No, I don't.
Really?
It's a time of the past.
Okay.
Let's go on a walk, he says.
Let's go. On a walk
And I think that
get to
walk
know
is a
each
very fair. When I was in college, I used to go on walks all the time and have conversations with girls. Even post college. Like I think that for me, I'm like I don't like the whole like let's go on a date at the gym. Like one, I hate working out with people. I think anybody messes with my workout is
You're not getting a real workout in. Like
yeah, I'm just standing here talking, but I've definitely gone for like walks around like the pond, got my exercise in, had some of the best conversations I've ever had, and I think like, that's a good first date. Maybe the second date, you guys, I'm big on doing activities
like
together.
Top golf, escape rooms.
Maybe not that. That's like for your girlfriend.
It's
Like,
like a little extravagant.
yeah, you do that.
Really?
Yeah, I think like escape
Those are
rooms,
good,
stuff like
but-
that.
I thought that's bare minimum.
Escape.
Gab, you remember the time we did an escape room, and because I know you mess up every escape room, I left you locked into the handcuff on the cage
Yeah,
door.
he handcuffed me.
See, could you imagine now? I went on the first date with the girl, and I'm thinking she's amazing, and I meet her, and her personality.
And then you
is
argue
dead.
and you find
and I'm
out.
stuck in the escape room. We both can't get out. and we hate
Exactly.
each
So
other.
then you fast pass and realize
No,
you
no.
can't
So
handle
the
it.
way the date order goes, it goes like this: you do your walk, you do an activity. The activity could be something like, there's a carnival this weekend.
Yeah.
Let's go to the carnival. I'll win you a couple prizes. Ride a couple rides. We'll see how it goes. Let's go to we're in LA. There's a ton of events. Let's go to an event. We
Like
don't
food
go.
trucks,
Yeah,
stuff
food
like
truck.
that.
We don't go together, but you go
So you're
together,
not
but
gonna
not
pick 'em
together.
up?
No, we
No, you
like
mean-
who in what 21st century is it like you show up at 7:30, I'm picking her up, Mr. Chad, I'm gonna have her back by 10. Like that's not a thing anymore.
It's not.
That's
Nothing.
not a thing.
No, you're gonna wake
you're
up, you're gonna
dating,
have a
like-
text.
Okay, maybe I'm a little rusty in this dating world.
No, like
then.
you're gonna wake up, you're gonna have a text. It's gonna say, "What are you doing this weekend?" Oh, nothing. Okay, cool. Well, I have this thing tomorrow. Do you want to, maybe go to this thing? Yeah, sure. I'll meet you there around like 7:00. And then normally they show up at like 8:15 because nobody ever wants to be the first one there.
Pretty for real.
Yeah, I think that's the most
Maybe
realistic
that's why
way.
both of you guys are single still.
I think that okay. Well, first of all, like I will speak for the majority when I speak for the majority here when I say that in the 21st
You don't
century.
pick people up.
Gab, are you a confrontational person?
No.
You are the youngest one in the room, and you are the closest to the most young generation, and none of them are confrontational. We grew up in a generation where it's like, okay, we're not iPad kids. You're an
I
iPad
wasn't
kid.
an iPad kid. I didn't have an iPad until last Christmas. Thank you very much.
Okay, well, we didn't even have cell phones and stuff till we were like how old are you? 14, 15?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
I was
Moses,
14 when I got my first iPhone.
Moses, you grew up on a golf course with a security guard, a twin sister,
and
and
I
two
had
parents.
a prepaid flip phone until I was in
great-
8th
great credit
grade.
scores.
Like you were born with a 730 credit score. Like
And that just
you
gave
went
me
to
my
a private
personality.
Catholic school. Like,
Oh, Catholic schools, so much drama goes on there.
It is true. I did
It's
go to
some of the crazy.
I went to
those are
Catholic
the
school.
schools that everyone who
They're the
gets
messed up
kicked
kids.
out of public school goes to my high school.
yeah, that's cap because your high school's like 20 grand a year to go to. But yeah.
No, I'm Catholic, so it was a discount. So it was like 3.
Okay, well, regardless,
anyways.
I speak for the majority when I say like normally it's gonna end in some DM, some Snapchat, or a text. It's gonna say, "What are you doing? Let's meet at this place at this time." So you do the walk, you do that, and then after that, if it gets serious, then it's like normally in my experience, what I see happen is like after like that third-ish time, and you're at the event, you have a couple of drinks. They normally come back with you, and like they sleep together. Then after that, it's like you're pretty much on the same pace for the rest of the time. In my experience, that's what I've seen. Especially if you live in the same area, I think that in this generation, like physical affection has come a lot faster than a lot of the.
So you're
mental
saying
connection.
3 dates and then that?
I would about that. I would say so. Like the first one you hang out, the second one you kind of do something fun, the third one they're kind of ready to go. I think it moves a lot quicker than what you think. I don't think it's the old fashioned.
maybe
We're
I'm
going on 5
old-fashioned
dates and then
then.
we're sleeping together and they're like we're proposing.
Oh, I was thinking months.
Yeah, months is crazy. Yeah. Good luck keeping a guy around. For months.
Sorry.
He's probably gonna have to be the one if that's the case.
Yeah, like I think you're.
Well, I guess I'm just not like every other girl then.
But this,
This is not a conversation towards you, Gabrielle.
I know.
This
I'm
is
just
a
making
conversation
it-
for the viewers watching
I
who
know,
want
I know.
genuine
I just know. I
advice.
genuinely didn't think it was like that though. But anyways, I have another one. The very last one. Okay, so I asked this girl that I had a crush on out on a date. So I pick her up at her house. Then we go to a reservation at the nice steakhouse. We get there, but for some reason it said that we had to reschedule the reservation and it never showed up. We then settle on just getting some McDonald's and go back to her house. We then get there and watch some movies and end up hooking up. While hooking up, someone comes into the door and it's her twin sister, and it's the twin that I actually had the crush on.
so did he think he was going out with the other sister?
I don't know. That's all I got.
I don't
from the
think
TM.
there's no way he could have thought he was going on with the other sister because he was.
And I was gonna say right off the bat, I was like, you're doing too much with the reservation steakhouse. Like,
Yeah, like,
Hey, they
You
went to
do.
McDonald's.
not saying you don't
swear.
deserve that, but
I think
I
that's-
did for a first date, like a fancy steakhouse is crazy because it's just gonna be super awkward because like there's those moments where you don't really know what to talk about. And you're just kind of just sitting there and you're just like forcing the conversation. And it's like pulling teeth.
no, that's fair.
And it's just like you kind of just sit there and you're just like,
So
where's the
next?
bathroom? That's like the first go-to thing. Is like, where's the
get some
bathroom?
appetizer.
And that's when they walk away to the bathroom, you pull out the phone, and you're just like trying to be like super casual. And
Have one of
cool,
your
and, like,
friends text you for help.
Yeah, like I mean, you could do that, but like normally, like you just kind of sit there and just act like you're thinking the date's going smooth. You're just like scrolling Instagram or checking your emails or something. And then they come back, you sit down, you order some food, whatever it is, what it is. But like Daniel said, steakhouse is crazy. Like I think that he hooked up with the girl because it kind of goes back to what I said before, as like things move a lot quicker. But the twin sister probably came in, and if they look really identical, like there's like that theory, it's like the better looking twin, kind of like how your sister's better looking.
Oh, shut up.
I'm just
I
kidding.
will punch you right here, right
I'm just
now.
kidding.
Misfits 11.
But it's similar to that. He probably thought initially when he was looking through the Instagram pages, because it happened super quick, he clicked on this one. He's like, oh, this is the one. And then he saw the other one in person, was like, oh, well, that's actually the first one I saw. But at that point, you're already like, I mean, unless you're a legend like me, you get both of them. But like,
It's true. He should try again.
You should try again. I think
He should
that's
try
just
with the other
awkward.
sister and actually get the reservation at the steakhouse.
Dad's setting him up for bad.
Sorry for
You got the
walking in,
McDonald's.
but
You ain't going to the steakhouse, little bro.
I feel like I'm gonna be honest with you. I had the reservation the entire time. I low key canceled it when I
because he didn't want to pay for it.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
If
Imagine.
you were the other twin, you know, I had to cancel the reservation.
Oh yeah,
my
it says here
gosh.
that you just screenshot when you had it on open table and you cancel, and you just have the screenshot where it said it was confirmed. And you get to the front desk and they go, well, it says you canceled it 10 minutes ago, little bro.
Well, that's awkward. That's really awkward. But
That's my dating advice.
yeah, well, I hope you guys enjoyed today.
All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to the #1 podcast in the world. Thank you for listening to all our drama, all our bull crap, and all Moses's rumbling about
A
apparently.
real date.
Yeah, like she's living in a Cinderella story.
I
Thank you,
am.
Daniel, for joining us yet again, my brother.
Thank you guys for having me.
If you guys like these episodes, make sure you turn on that post notifications, like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. We'll see you guys in the next one in the #1 podcast in the world, Unscripted.
Bye.